Hello, welcome to the New Miami. I'm Bob, and today I wanted to talk about the difference between what I've experienced doing social media and the beginning of doing YouTube Live. So the way that I would compare them is by calling YouTube Live is kind of like the upside down. If you watch if you basically the experience of first, like, social media in general. So every social media platform is different. I've had to do social media for work. So, I'm obviously pretty familiar with all that. And I've read up on social media and also had to manage social media for the past few years. Also for myself, for the New Miamian, and obviously myself, Bob Gramanches, and now starting with my digital marketing company, Ultimate Digital. So I'm actually not even sure if I'm going to do social media for my digital marketing company, which I know sounds insane because social media is a part of digital marketing, but that doesn't mean there's so many different things in digital marketing. I don't think that that means that just because it's a part of it means that you have to do it. Like I see myself more referring social media work to people that do that full time. And the reason that is kind of also my experience. I just find that social media is, and let me be specific, each one is kind of different, right? So Instagram is basically, what you eat, who you hang out with, what you look like, what you wear. And, that's that. Basically, it's very visual. In terms of digital marketing, it doesn't really bring a lot of traffic. It's mainly for becoming an influencer, a thought leader. Not even, I wouldn't say a thought leader. Mainly for influencers. It's very visual, and it's not so much for getting traffic. So, I post actual photos on Instagram maybe every few months. I just find that it's I don't know. I mean, I never look at my own Instagram. I don't think anybody else. I'm pretty sure there's stats about how people generally don't look at your actual profile on Instagram. I use the stories because I used to really like Snapchat. I don't really use Snapchat anymore. No offense to them. It's just like a lot. There's once Instagram kind of stole and Facebook stole the story idea, it kind of defeats the purpose for me of going on Snapchat. And then somebody that I know will send you a Snapchat and then they don't even know what they sent you and it disappears. So it's like, wow, this is pretty frustrating. And it's not even, it disappears, but it's not even something like there's still been like scandals where people have taken screenshots or films from other phones, snaps. So, I mean, I don't know. Snapchat, I don't get, not for me. Used to be cool. I still use it a tiny bit. Instagram, like I said, I use the stories. I like the stories. They're, again, simple to the point. Facebook, I mean, it's very much like, I don't know, very family, very fake news. I got the message that my information was shared with Cambridge Analytica on Facebook. I was like, cool. So since one of my friends used an app, they got all of my information, which it's not like I have information there that I'm like scared is gonna, affect my life in any way, shape, or form. But I think actually the reason that I'm more not super into Facebook is because their algorithm kind of makes it so it's pay to play. So it's, and not in the political foreign policy pay to play sense. But, on Facebook, you can't really make too much of an impact on your own without, paying for placements in terms of their ad manager and all that stuff. And same thing with Instagram. When you start messing with the algorithms and all that stuff, it does become a lot less organic, and then it really becomes a lot less fun. Twitter is basically for me news. Whenever I read an article, I tend to share it there, especially since, Facebook, it's mainly family and friends and stuff like that. And not everybody shares your same beliefs. So I think that since Twitter, not too many people, at least that I know, are really active on Twitter, it makes it easier for me to kind of be like, oh, I read this really good, Atlantic article. Let me keep it on there mainly so that I can reference it and go back. And then if I want to share it with a friend, I'll be like, okay, I know I can go to my Twitter. It's kind of like basically bookmarking news is the way I look at that. And then when stuff's going on, either politically or in the world and all that, I go to Twitter, obviously, and kind of look at what's trending and all that. But the difference between that and Facebook Live, and the reason that I think that Facebook Live is the upside down, and basically, so upside down is just the same world that we're living on now, but it's, you know, a character in Stranger Things is able to go through both worlds, and, you know, people get stuck in there, and you're going through like this creepy, weird, like, I don't know, you know, thing. And so it's basically like where the monsters are, but it's also the earth. So you could be in the same house and somebody in the upside down, you know, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like science fiction, but whatever. The point is the reason that I drew the comparison in my head is that with YouTube and doing this, like, I feel like this is personality driven in the sense that you can't really help. I mean, you know, doing stuff on camera, you very quickly realize that I'm just using an HD Logitech webcam and a Snowball microphone. It's literally like $100 setup, not, you know, something too crazy. It's not like a fancy camera. I do want to try that, but it picks up everything, you know. And when I talk to my friends about it, sometimes I look back at these videos. I've only done a few, but I'm like, like, I don't want to see it again. I don't want to like hear what I said. I usually do have to at least go through once because I have to remember if I said I was going to link something and all that. So that's basically when I watch it, but it's disconcerting to the point that it's you. Like, people can figure you out. There's a vulnerability that comes with doing this sort of thing that is a stark difference from social media that we've grown accustomed to, which is, you know, fakery, for lack of a better word. You know, even if my own profiles, aside from Twitter, that I think is personality driven for me, because I feel like nobody follows me on Twitter, so it's easy to post stuff and not get text messages after. But you know, aside from that, even I look at my own social media and I don't even see myself. Like, I went to my Facebook because I'm debating if I want to share all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't even post. Like, you can't look at my Facebook, my Instagram and all that and really get a true sense of who I am. And I think that that is why I feel like there's no value in really supporting all of those platforms, you know, myself. Because if I'm not so inclined to take pictures of my food, I do want to do food on here. But again, it's just so different. Like, it's not, I think that the other social medias, to be successful, it is facade to a certain extent. And I think that doing this sort of thing, you kind of just do have to be yourself. And that makes it a lot more challenging. I think that's why less people do this sort of thing. It's certainly why I haven't done it in a really long time, even though I do love journaling. And I love a lot of things that are, you know, part of this, but I haven't done this because, again, it's very intimidating. But then the way I look at it now, like I said, since I go to my social media and all that, and I don't see myself, I want to at least, oh, there's Migo. I want to at least have a record. Like, I want to be able to at least go back and be like, okay, this is actually who I am. Like, if you, Kiki, come here. This is Milo. He's not combed, but he's very cute. So yeah, you know, again, even that, like, I don't even have like my dogs, like, you know, one of my dogs passed away, but Milo's still here. So I want to have a little bit of Milo. I know I'll post a picture of him once in a while, but again, I don't remember, you know, certain things. So I love that about this. And the final thing about the comparison with the upside down, when I was thinking about that, I'm like, actually Reddit is kind of the upside down of social media, because that's where all like the monsters and trolls live. And so that is another kind of interesting comparison. But the difference is that Twitter is the most anonymous. I mean, Reddit is the most anonymous. It's really interesting. There's like a lot of dissonance on Reddit between what goes on to the first page and the comments that people make in subreddits. And I think that, you know, and again, I actually do like Reddit. I do get a lot of really good information. There's a lot of subreddits I think are really cool, but it's hard at first because, again, you're like getting bashed and roasted for just something that you think is completely normal. And you're like, wow, you all hate me. But there's like a hazing aspect to Reddit. And I think that has to do with the demographics and all that. But so that may be considered the upside down world to some. I still think that this is so opposite of regular social media, the live streaming, that I think that that's why I kind of feel like it's so different. And I think that that's why I've taken a liking to this. And I don't know. I mean, social media is a really interesting thing. And I'm sure this will be an ongoing conversation, but I at least wanted to share my thoughts. I'm also writing a blog about going live. So I think that that's why it was front of mind, this vulnerability and letting people see exactly how you are. When I look at a video, I think of the dumb things like, oh, you could see like my neck on the side and my sideburns look funny. I just shaved them, so I think they look a little bit better now. I have sideburn issues. I don't know why. But yeah, so I thought that was an interesting comparison for this, and I wanted to kind of give an update on that. And I have figured out a send-off, which is what I was supposed to do in all the other videos, which is ask you to subscribe to this channel. And if you can, get notifications. I do want to continue this practice, and it'll be really cool if I can start interacting. I'm going to try and get a regular schedule. I read that that's a really good way to start getting interaction here. But yeah, so if you have any thoughts on the differences between live streaming and social media and what's real and what's fake and what's better and what's going to last, let's talk about it. But don't, as Whoopi Goldberg says, don't tweet me because I don't care. Not really actually would respond to tweets, but this is a lot more fun. Anyway, thanks. Hope you like my shirt. Bye.